So you'll need some yarn in colors of your choice, some tape, some thick rope. Here I'm just using some jute that I ripped off an old rug, a plastic fork, a glue gun and glue sticks, some scissors, and a round plate or lid of some sort the size of the rainbow you want to make. You will be using this as a guide to shape your rainbow. Here I'm just using a cookie lid. So to begin, you're going to grab your thick rope. This jute I'm using is a tad thin for my liking, so I'm just going to double it up and it should work just fine. I'm going to take the jute and run it along the perimeter of the lid, like so, and it should go about halfway around. I'm going to cut my jute right there, and then I'm going to use the tape and tape the ends together. The tape will keep the jute pieces together so that they do not shift around while we are making our rainbow. Then you're going to line the jute along the lid again, make a snip on the other end, and also tape those ends together. It is okay if the ends of your jute do not line up, because we can always trim it later on. So you're going to take the first color of your yarn and start wrapping it around the jute. This is how I hide the end. I point the end of the yarn towards the direction that I'll be wrapping towards, and I start wrapping the yarn and the end and the jute all together. If your jute starts to peek through as you're wrapping it, just tug the yarn and push it over closer together. So keep wrapping until you reach the tape over to the other side, then place it back on the lid to shape it. At this point, you can also even out any areas that aren't uniform. Then trim and tie off the end. Now we'll be working on our second arch of the rainbow. Take your second piece of jute and measure it with the large arch. Remember to double it up if you're using a thinner rope. And just like we did with the first arch, you're going to trim the end, tape the ends together, and start wrapping. And even out any spots that has the jute peeking through. Now you're going to line it up with the first arch, making sure that the yarn starts and stops at approximately the same spots before tying it off. And for the third and fourth arches, you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to measure, snip the ends, tape off the ends, and then wrap with yarn. When you're finished wrapping all of the arches, you're going to attach them together. And to do this, I use the glue gun. So I put a dot of glue throughout the arch and then just push them together. And make sure the yarn on each arch lines up with each other. Now this dot of glue only holds it together for a little bit. For extra security, I flip it over and take the glue gun and run more glue along the entire arch to have it extra secure. I do it on the back because glue gun can get kind of messy, and if I do it on the back, it can't be seen. Next, you're going to remove the tape, and I usually just snip the tape right off. Now this is my favorite part. I take my fork and I brush out the ends. If your rope is wrapped a little bit tighter, you might want to pick it apart with your fingers first and then run it through with a plastic fork. I like my ends extra fluffy, so I like to spend a little bit more time on this. The last and final step is to attach the hanger, and I just take a piece of yarn, the same color as the first arch. You can choose whatever color you wish. Make a little loop and glue gun it behind. If you notice a few stray fibers, just take your scissors and trim them off.